The Europeans have had their lunch and afternoon tea, and it's a beautiful morning in America, and some of you might have a fresh cup of morning coffee just ahead of you as you're watching this Krokhol Open coverage MPO round number 1 from Sigerud, Norway. Welcome to DGN and welcome to Krokhol. We had FPO round number 1 going on earlier today, and now we're in the booth for the MPO. My name is Esa-Pekka Tupala, and with me Brian Earhart. Welcome to the studio, Brian.
Thank you. I am thrilled to be here. Krokhol is one of my favorite courses to watch disc golf on. This morning solidified that view, watching the women play. When it comes to challenging the top players in our sport, it's hard to do. Do we add more distance? Do we tighten the OB? How do we make things more challenging? It seems like this course is doing that so well in a lot of really creative ways.
And there is only so much we can do from here, from the booth, and we have a special man on the course. We have Nate Perkins down there in Sigerud. Nate, how is the course looking on this fine Friday in Norway?
Course looks beautiful, as always, Epe. A lot of sunshine down here today. You know, the UV index isn't too high, but it still feels like you kind of need to seek the shade out here. For the Europeans, 27 degrees Celsius. We're at the peak right now. That's right at 80 degrees Fahrenheit, which, you know, normally feels like a perfect day of golf, but it does feel pretty warm down here. The course is playing tough. Northeast wind, pretty consistent, 10 miles per hour. It's been giving everyone trouble today. I think that the front 9 is playing pretty tricky. I think it's going to be the windier of the two 9s and is going to be playing a little tougher. Hole 8 playing as the toughest hole on the course this morning. Just 3 birdies so far on the day. And yeah, Ricky did shred this course last year. Gannon has every chance to shred it. Daniel Davidson is off to an amazing start, 6 through 7. We've got a local De La Viega golfer making his debut in Europe. Jacob Blair shoots a 1060 rated, 8 under par. He's pretty much exclusively been a West Coast of the United States player and played a few Worlds in his past, but this is kind of his debut round, I would say, out here on the Disc Golf Pro Tour in Europe. So I'm, again, just grateful to be out here, guys. Brian, Epe, back to you in the booth.
Thank you, Nate, so much, and thanks for your insight during this whole run. We are going to jump onto you. As we see during your speech in this screen, the hole 1, treacherous hole, Paul Macbeth there, hitting the green and rolling down.
I think this is a theme out here. We're going to see Alden Harris throw his tee shot. You need to skip at the perfect spot on this green. Otherwise, you're rolling down the hill or you're skipping OB left.
And a touch too low for Alden Harris, and he rolls down, but that's a fine place to be. But I believe Paul just found out of bounds there. That is brutal, and the wind is picking up. And so are the Europeans, and that is the reason why I chose some Finnish players in my Hold My Bag fantasy disc golf top tier. And Ricky, he's my pick for tier number 1. He took this event down last year with 5 strokes. Adam Hammes fresh out of his victory in PCS. And I believe these 3 other guys, some of you might know them, some of you might not. Väinö Mäkelä, a bit of a sleeper this season still, has to pick up his game, but I believe he was 3rd last year here, and he knows the course very well. Lauri Lehtinen, nothing to be said, he should be higher than tier 4. And Teemu Lampainen, I really like his style on this course, and he's been upping his game during this whole season long 2025. And you also can play Hold My Bag on your home couch or wherever you are. You can win up to $1,000 in top prizes. It's a $10 entry, and top 150 get paid. So scan the QR code on your screen or visit holdmybagdg.com. Raven Newsom currently on 18, tapping in, and that will be a tie with Jacob Blair on the top right now, -8. Now, Brian, what would you say would be the hot round today in these conditions? It's really hot. The humidity is down practically as low as it can get in Norway. It's a beautiful day, but it might be a bit hot there. What would you say we end up with?
Man, well, Ricky Wysocki last year, 13 under par was that hot round. He kicked off the tournament with that 1090 rated. Course is relatively unchanged from that last layout. I would say with the winds picking up the way they have, you shoot a 10-11 under par, I think that's going to be pretty hot.
Yeah, I'm gonna call that someone will hit 12 down, but it's gonna be a tough score to achieve today. Here are some point standings from Disc Golf Pro Tour Europe side of things. Nestori Tuhkanen leading the pack as of PCS Open last weekend, 614 points, chased by Daniel Davidson behind 65 points, and Lauri Lehtinen on the third. Niklas Anttila currently on the fourth position with 401 points. We also take a look at the world standings on DGPT as they stand on this date after the PCS Open. Gannon Burr leading Anthony Barella with 174 points at 1394. Third place goes to Ricky Wysocki, 1081. Adam Hammes, 993. And Isaac Robinson really tied with Adam Hammes, just 2 points, behind Adam Hammes at 991.
This is something exciting to key in on. Look at this list of players. These guys are all here.
Yep.
They're ramping up for the 2 majors, one in Estonia, the World Championships coming up right after that. This weekend is going to be a shootout.
We're gonna have a flashback to 2023 Krokhol Open. These are the highlights from final round. Some marvelous things happening on that day. And Paul Macbeth missing this putt on 13 goes out of bounds. Still in 2023, that was a very interesting event with Paul Macbeth here on this 13. Something really happened with him, and I personally hadn't seen that from him.
Yeah, and that was back, 2023 when Paul was playing so well at the PCS, came here, Bradley Williams wins the battle, and then last year, Rick showed why he's one of the best players of all time at this course. And when I think about the layout here, I think Ricky Wysocki. I think of a player like him that has an answer for everything out here.
And I believe he said it himself on his practice round videos that most of the American courses feel to him like they are first shot bomb and second shot upshot and then putt for birdie or what else. And then on these European courses, you have to really dial those angles and you have to control the flight and the landing of the disc on every single hole, and they vary from each other.
And I think the risk reward goes back to the tee pad too. You think about what type of technicality do I want to face on this second shot? Yes, I can put the tee shot in play, but even if I put power on it, what side of the fairway do I want to be on to open up the angle? That's what this course does, and that's why I feel like it's been scoring so well.
The decisions don't end here. They just keep on coming, and you really need those problem-solving skills on this kind of technical course, which is ranked the #1 course in the world by UDisc users. And I'll believe them. I don't have anything bad to say about this course as of now.
Multiple MPO players saying that this is their #1 course in the world, and it's one thing for a person who's maybe seen some good courses to rank it #1 and rank it very highly, but for a player that's seen everything, that says a lot.
And we are going to have our chase card tee off in just a few seconds. On tee #1, Anthony Barella, Jakub Semerad, Niklas Anttila, Øyvind Janes, 4 nationalities in our second feature card. Enjoy these tee shots. Welcome to Disc Golf Network.
second feature card. First on tee from Slavy, the Czech Republic, and Team Latitude 64. Jakub Semerak. From Mesa, Arizona, US, Team Discraft. Please make some noise for AB Anthony Varela. From Longevåg IL Disc Golf, Team Latitude 64. Eivind Jarnes. Last city from Kuopio, Finland, Team Discmania, European champ for 2 weeks ago. Give it up for Niklas Antila.
And they're off. Still 4 players in the clubhouse, waiting approximately 15 minutes before the last MPO players can start their round. Semerat, Varela, Janes and Antila are on the field. Some facts about this course. Easy to love, hard to master. That is a fine way to put it. We are located near Oslo, Norway, the capital of Norway, and this course is highly regarded championship level course, known for its scenic beauty and challenging design. We have a par 63 here, layout par 63, and we are gonna combine some very tight wooded fairways. We have open fairways with grass and some significant elevation changes. And these events have been played here for years on end, and we have a couple of guys who played 10 years ago at Oslo in an event called the Oslo Open 2015. One of them is in the second feature card, and the younger one is in our first feature card today. Knut Valen Håland and Øyvind Janes have been battling with each other on these Norwegian grounds for years, and here's a picture of them on your screen. On the left you can see them at the Oslo Open 2015, and 2 years after that Knut Valen Håland met his big time idol Ricky Wysocki for the first time at Skellefteå Open 2017.
Yeah, Knut is just a fantastic dude, and Oyvind, obviously another legend of Norwegian disc golf. Knut did have a stint over in the United States. I believe it was 2022. Him, Peter Lunde, and Truls, and a bunch of Norwegians came over for an extended period of time, and I got to see Knut's game kind of evolve as he kind of got used to these U.S. courses, and yeah, stoked to see him playing out here in front of his home country.
And if Knut is wondering where did we get these pictures, just thank your father, Knut. Daniel Davidsson also on the course, having a really hot round at this moment. Here's him on hole 8, currently for par. Just that too low. That will be his first bogey, take him down to 5 down through 8 holes, which is totally fair on these premises. Now we're gonna have a short break on the network before we let those MPO feature card 1 players tee off on hole number 1, so don't go anywhere.
The discovery of electricity, the first flight, democracy, splitting the atom, computers, modern medicine, space travel, and of course, the Royal Line from Latitude 64.
My name's Paul Uliberry, and I use the Uli Signature All-Terrain cart. I use the All-Terrain because when I'm on tour, I typically use a lot more discs than a lot of people, and this is the slimmest cart you're going to get with the most disc capacity. It's easy to navigate around the course, and the height of the seat, perfect for a rest spot. Also easy to transport in your vehicle from spot to spot. If you're like me and you carry a lot of discs, this is the cart for you.
The Krokhol Open is presented by Latitude 64, when quality matters. And we have some round 1 action from the European Disc Golf Festival coming at you for free next weekend with a DGN free subscription. So this event will be broadcasted on DGN Pro, but you will get the first round free on Disc Golf Network free subscription, so make sure you scan the QR code or visit discgolfnetwork.com. You don't need any credit cards or anything else, you just have to sign in onto the page and you will see round 1 for free. And there is a word in my ear that we're gonna go see Daniel Davidsson on hole 9. Oh my goodness, what a putt! I mean, that is outside C2 for Davidsson. Going again, -6, but now it's through the front 9. That's solid score.
Very solid score to start the weekend. And it always feels good. You take a big number, bogey or something, and you come back in the next and just show off. Yeah, I know what I'm doing.
Wow, so many big time storylines from this course. already from this year, I mean, we have the Peach Pirate there walking with Davidson, and he did some marvelous things yesterday in the match play. But last year in 2024, we had a fierce battle going on. Jakub Semerad coming and charging, really challenging Ricky Wysocki on the top. This throw on 8 was absolutely bonkers. That is not a birdieable hole for a mere mortal.
It's a tough hole number 8. We'll key in on that a little bit later, but Jakub seems to do this like a lot. When the pressure gets high and Jakub is in the mix, he always seems to put up a fight, but Rick just...
yeah.
You can't do anything when a guy's averaging 1080 on the weekend.
Yeah. Just pinpoint accurate the whole way, Ricky Wysocki, also known as Richard, here on tee of 18, going downhill on this par 5. And this is a former ball golf course, and this hole 18 is actually still part of that traditional golf course. And that is the reason why disc golfers are not able to practice on this very hole just in just a couple of days prior to this main event.
Yeah, well, Richard had quite the event last year and showed us that this course can get shredded. And a classic strange celebration with the trophy for Mr. Wysocki. All business today.
He also did quite well in Estonia last year at the European Disc Golf Festival. Took the event down. Very great performance from Ricky there.
Oh, they're building up something special out there in Estonia on those festival grounds. I think we're in for a real treat.
Although Ricky plays real well here, this is his last victory we've seen from him.
Well, last year, towards the end of that season, was the year of Gannon Buhr, and Ricky seemed to always be that guy chasing him, and you know he feels that.
I mean, take a look at this. Just one time on the 5th place, and never outside top 5 on this statistic here.
Well, and he always talks about how important consistency is to him. You know what? He's not going to win every tournament. He knows that. He takes pride in every win that he has, but I know he's still proud of some of these performances that he's put up.
The competition is real hard on the top, and every single year these European events keep on bringing more and more and more talented professionals in Europe and in these events. We can talk more about Adam Hammes. Took down the PCS Open last weekend. Personally, something I wasn't anticipating because he was charged up by so many talented professionals.
Well, he's one of those guys, you look at his PDGA profile and you see a lot of low performances, not in a good way. And it happens sometimes. When Adam is locked in and believes that he can be a champion, multiple guys at the top of the MPO division will say he has what it takes to be the #1 player on the planet on any given weekend.
And this putt just got me. I went through the floor with this. And you called this. It was such a cool moment.
And this whole weekend, it felt like there was some sort of magic following Adam Hammes. I mean, he faltered late on hole 17, gave us a bit of a show, and then the icy cold approach to the green of 18. This falling putt, just unreal. Had me standing up. I couldn't sit in my chair anymore, Epe.
And lifting the axe at the end of the tournament is something you never forget as a professional. Here you see his scorecard at the moment from today. Currently 1 down, but if we take anything from the FPO coverage earlier this day, that doesn't mean anything.
No, it doesn't.
You can birdie the last 7 holes in a row.
Yeah, Cadence Burge pretty much birdieless until she rattled off the last 7.
So there is still a big time possibility for Adam Hammes to take an 8 down round or whatever. We will see how it'll do. Adam Hammes fought valiantly with the Peach Pirate yesterday at the match play, but there was kind of a distinctive moment that you could say gave Ezra some advantage.
You know, normally we hit the mute button. We let the shots breathe a little bit.
Yeah.
We're sitting back, easing
Yeah.
into the day.
Hole number 1.
No, you can't ease into it. You can't just ease into the round. He aces hole 1. And I'm hearing rumor that this was on Sports Center over in the United States. On the
It
top
should
10
be.
plays.
Yeah. As it should be.
Unreal.
One does not simply ace hole 1 at Krokhol.
He's going to be laying on his deathbed one day, an old man, and say, son, come closer.
Yes, uncle.
Have I told you about the Krokhol ace?
I'm gonna agree with that. You can't forget that moment. My gosh, we have 4 more players to leave the tee number 1. Just a short break on the network before that. We'll see you soon.
OTB is very specific on how they list the disc because they want you to like the disc.
Virtually in your hand tells you what the disc is going to feel like, how heavy it's going to be. It's everything you want to know before it shows up to your house.
Not just marketing.
It's only the best.
Zero gravity. What now?
I don't know. They have to land at some point.
I'm Anthony Varela. I got the MBPX1 by Grip Equipment, and it's quickly become my favorite bag I've ever owned.
We are outside.
We are together.
Oh my!
We are healthy.
We are inclusive.
Smile.
Smile. You are playing
Disco.
PDGA Europe.
Smile.
And on your screen we have Gannon Burr's daily fantasy position on this weekend for the Krokhol Open at the NXT Bets. You can play DGPT Daily Fantasy and get up to $1,000 deposit. Match now from nxtbets.com/playdgpt. You can also scan the QR code on your screen to join the game. Gannon Burr, Isaac Robinson, Knut Wallenholland and Richard Wysocki on the tee of 1. Great gallery down on the course, and we're gonna see these 4 nice gentlemen tee off for the Krokhol Open 2025. Once again, welcome to DGN. Let's enjoy these shots.
Mine damer og herrer, ladies and gentlemen, 2025 Krokhol Open, presented by the Latitude 64 feature card. First on tee from Scottsdale, Arizona, US. Team Discraft, World Champ 2016 and 17. Make some noise for Ricky Esa-Pekka. Fra Fiskarstrand, Langevåg, IL, Discgolf. Team Discmania. Ekstra applaus for Knut Van Holland. From Lawrenceville, Georgia, US. Team Latitude 64 World Champ 2023-24. Give it up for Isaac Robinson. Last tee from Urbandale, Iowa, US. Team Discmania. Make some noise for Gannon Burr!
And what was that you said, Brian?
That is a #1 player in the world shot. That's exactly what the designer was wanting a player to do. Everybody else taking those big hyzers into the green. Gannon goes control driver, baby flex, soft landing. Just gorgeous.
Yeah, take a double dyed disc. One side dyed on one color and the other with the other color, and throw it onto the green and stay there, putting for birdie. Daniel Davidson, hole 11, currently 6 down.
Decent shot. It's a smash of a drive to get up to the green. Now back to hole 3. Jakob controlling the speed. Oh, off the base.
Giving us a show already, ain't you, Semerad? The player from Czech Republic, been on these premises for a couple of years now. World putting champion already, a few years back. Anthony Barella on the tee of 3.
Oh, look at the understability of that. Not quite finishing the flight.
And there's the casual relief on the left side of green number 3. For a reason. We're back with Davidson. Where is he actually? On 11th. Oh, yeah, okay, sorry. My mistake. That's a birdie. Ain't it? That's a huge drive. It looked to go way left from the tee.
Yeah, it looked like he got caught up on that left side pretty early, but snuck through branches apparently, and yeah, that's a great birdie on 11.
7 down through 11. Daniel Davidson is one of our leaders who are tied with 3 people. Evan Smith, Raven Newsom and Jagger Player. Now, Knut Wallen Holland on hole 1. Yeah, soft beat there. It's going to be a tap in par. And that is the play for most of these guys.
Yeah, that's a tough green to stick. If you hyzer 2 left, you're going to be in Waisaki's position. This is a par putt. And you're going to start the day off with a bogey. It's just really devious tee pad and basket placement.
And it's a one task to get a skip from that hillside to go up and then land on the green. But the green is sloping from right to left, which means that if you still have some gas on your disc, it will skip again.
There's a just small sliver on that upslope that you can hit with hyzer and actually skip up and stick on the green. That's why Gannon's shot really blew me away. He did exactly what the artist was intending the player to do.
Robinson for par going out of bounds off the tee. And that is not in. Tap in bogey coming up. And the wind is picking up. Keep an eye on those flags on top of the baskets. So do the players on the field, and Holland picks up an important par, just as he wanted to play it. Give us something to think about when the disc left his hand off the tee. It was a bit to the right, but it was stable enough. Hyzer back in bounds, and now Gannon Burr to the gusting winds. Bit of a headwind, not a problem. That is a beautiful birdie. At this moment, we've gotten 7 birdies from the MPO field on hole number 1. I'm gonna shout them out because there are so few of them. So Daniel Davidson, Hjalte Jensen, Braden Sides, Calvin Lundqvist, Benjamin Callaway, Håkan Kveseth, and Eetu Tuominen. Congratulations, guys. You made a nice birdie on hole 1. Daniel Davidson, tee of 12. What was that? Well, that's an okay result. He hit a ditch or something?
Yeah, I think it was a bit of a strange reaction. You're going to see a lot of undulation, a lot of tough ground play out here.
Semerad for birdie on 3. Powerful spin putter in the chains.
Now Jakob going, well, attempting flex on 4. This thing is bleeding left. That's not a bad result. That was really inside. Man, it's really cool, Epe, to see a player and a disc kind of combine. It feels like, you know, Gannon and this PD that he's been throwing, it's like their souls are merging. They're so connected. He's so in tune with the way this thing is flying.
He's been throwing that disc a lot.
And just really, really well. Need to get that disc moving right. Kind of flattening and pushing forward as it's fading.
Holland, tee of 2. Yeah, this is a 202 meter par 4. That is 663 feet. That is a fine shot. Gets a subtle cut roll, but actually the cut roll is stopped by another upslope on the fairway. Robinson.
Yeah, Robinson really loves yanking on those overstable discs on the turn. And that works out just fine.
And Ricky being the only player to got the bogey from hole 1. That was my mistake there, sorry folks. So Robinson took the par on hole 1. And Ricky is in a fine position. We have Nate Perkins on the grounds there. Nate, this place got some heavy storms a week prior to this event, but now the sun is out and it seems like the crowd is enjoying themselves. Could you tell us something about how's the vibe there on the course? Are the crowds enjoying this disc golf event currently?
You gotta love that, Epe, the classic vibe question. You know, everyone's enjoying their time out here, right? They're stoked to see the professionals out here locked in and trying to put their best disc golf foot forward, right? Hole 1 and 2 are playing really tough. The northeast wind is looking like a right to left for both holes 1 and 2. And Ezra Robinson's shot is actually the best I've seen the last 3 cards that come through. Most players are ending up pushing toward the rough on the left. And these approaches on 2 are pretty interesting as well. It's going to stay right to left, and this green up here is sloped, probably 30 degrees from right to left. A lot of players hitting up by the basket and then getting to roll down into the woods.
Thanks, Nate. As we see the upshots from the first feature card with over 100 people behind them already on Friday, I'd like to ask you, Nate, how is the ground holding out after that heavy rain and storm from the past week? And are there any muddy spots or something else there viewers back home should be aware of?
Honestly, I had no idea that the course received that much water because you can't tell at all out here on the fairway. There's a couple boggy walks, but nowhere on the course do I think it's going to be a factor.
Thanks a lot, Nate. Knut Wallen Holland is in the air, but that is out of bounds.
I think hole 2 is another good example of how they've designed really intentional pro caliber par 4s out here. The green is really tough, and it benefits you to throw that technical long turnover that gets that forward push, so you have that slower disc with the spin that you want coming into the green. Gannon through a nice line, push the far side. Now he gets to throw something slow and land it softly. You're 50 feet back. You have kind of a tough decision to make.
Gannon Burr now throwing 2. Yeah, some people say they hate out-of-bounds sticks everywhere, but somehow I've grown to love them because they make these players have decisions to make. But it seems like Gannon doesn't have any decisions today. Well, he's just playing golf.
And Gannon has actually been very open about saying he knows that we need white stake OB or just rope OB in general to add that bit of tension to the best players in the world. You take all the white stakes out of this course, you're seeing a 15 under, 16 under. A lot of these strokes are going to come from out of bounds.
Robinson. Slower disc. Wants to fade subtly into the hillside. This is looking very nice indeed. C1. Wysocki.
Yeah, choosing to play with the slope with the backhand. That's so nice.
That requires a lot of touch.
Yeah, and you got to play to a very specific part of that down slope. Really smart play from Rick.
And if you hit that slope with too much energy and your angle control is off, you will skip to the left. And you don't want to end up there.
That's going to be a nice bounce back from Rick. And
Truly.
man, it was the Ricky and Gannon show all year last year. I'll never forget how intense the battle was at the Tour Championship back at Nevin. These two giving us some of the highest level disc golf that we've ever seen.
Holland. Putting for par. Just a layup. He's gonna settle down in the bullseye, take his bogey. Wise decision. Next up, Isaac Robinson. The camera doesn't do justice to this hill.
It is so steep. If you're standing at the top of the hill, your feet are above the top of the basket.
Holland. Actually 5 meters away still. That looked like it was closer, but that's still a bogey. Gannon Burr with Ricky Wysocki. A tap-in birdie. And there they go. Hole 3 ahead. The narrowest and tightest gap we have on the course. Going all the way from the tee to the basket. Jeremy Colling, welcome to the show. Hole 12, putting for birdie. Oh, and starts to walk it in, but it's too high. Looks real good out of his hand.
And yeah, for Germ, any putt out of his hand looks good. He's got one of the prettiest putting strokes and trajectories of anyone I've ever seen. Davidson for birdie.
Real close. Robinson, Ezra Robinson, that is, on hole 12 for birdie. And he gets it done, goes 2 under for the day. And there he goes, Brian. I'm predicting 7 straight birdies. We hope so.
Bold claim.
Jakub Semerad. Currently on 5. Gliding to the right. Stays on the fairway.
We could very easily see somebody get really aggressive on that hole. We'll talk about that more in a second. On 3, I love... We get the power drive on 1. We get the power drive on 2. Now they got to go soft. There's a little wall on the left side of the green. If you do throw a good shot, got to watch out for a slab of rock right next to the basket. I'm wondering if this is Gannon just saying, I just want to hit the gap.
Makes it through the gap. Settle down.
I'm guessing that's his game plan to a tee. Just put it pin high, edge of circle 1.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not afraid of putting towards nothingness. Robinson. Ooh. He was headed to the casual relief on the left, but is saved by a tree. That's about 16 meters about to the pin.
Yeah, there's no room to slide up to the pin. There's so many rocks and roots. And Rick not looking good.
Then Holland. "95 meters straight up ahead of you." Goes with the higher flip, gets a kick. And that's the only kick he'll need to stay on the green. He's gonna take that. Back with Daniel Davidsson. Tee of 13. Par 3, 96 meters. Very, very difficult hole, and he parks it. Wow, the one shot he needed on tee of 13. This camera angle doesn't show the hole at all, and I'm sure people will see it in this full glory.
Little bit of tilt on the forehand is why this was such a good shot. It took a little bit of speed off the skip. He wasn't getting this giant flare skip right. It's funny, a lot of times when you talk to a player about how different they were a year ago. I talked to Daniel Davidson about that. He said, not much. Same guy.
I mean, you're happy to have a 8-meter putt on 13, 7-meter putt, but to park that hole with such a precision,
Definitely,
it's unbelievable. Ricky, and hits the basket from the fairway. That's a birdie.
Yeah, just walk it in, Rick.
What a highlight from Richard Wysocki. Hits the chains on the fairway. From the fairway. I can't even talk English anymore, people. Look at this guy. He's just chilling out there. That's a cool thing to see. We're going to roll back that Zuka.
He just walked that in like it was a 15-footer.
Watch this go.
He's like, shouldn't have been there to begin with.
I practiced this one to be a bit easier. Yeah, pick up my disc, pick up the par, and I'm be happy, and it's in.
Hey, mini celebration for the throw-in from 110.
Isaac Robinson bouncing on the rim on third. That's gonna be a tap-in par. That is not in, unfortunately. Are we gonna have one of those highlight events?
It's been a highlight season. I feel like the script writers are getting a little edgy this year. Shout-outs to Evan Smith for the ace today. Sophia Donica this morning acing hole 6.
Cannon Burr hitting the band for his birdie putt on 3. Holland got through, now putting for birdie, 9 meters away. And a bit left side, chaining out. Another great putt from the young Norwegian. He's still 1 over par through 3 holes. And if we consider the strength of the field at these events in 2025, being 1 over par through 3 first holes of the tournament, it already starts to feel like can he still charge from there? It's crazy. We have so much to talk about, Brian. We'll have a short commercial break on the DGN. We'll be right back in the action.
Let's send these boys back to the lobby. Get on. Oh, Grandma's got a hot kettle for that teabag.
How did you get so much energy from a candy?
One Shot is no ordinary candy. It only has 4 grams of sugar, and the nootropics help prevent jitters and crash.
Grandma, do you think I could try one of those One Shot energy chews?
Oh, sure, honey. But if you come for the queen, you better come correct, Sprout. I'm the OG. Got it?
Got it.
Level up your energy with One Shot. Grab yours at oneshotenergy.com today.
Hello, we're Kenna. We're a Dutch growing company. We love plants and we want to tell you some cool things about them. Just like humans, plants can communicate. They can sense when another plant is close. Plants look out for each other too. They warn neighbors about nearby threats by secreting substances. And studies have shown that plants love a good tune. We love and understand plants. Let our passion excite you too.
Oh yeah. That's actually really nice.
Whoa, okay. If you are someone who likes to throw overstable and have it flex, that's gonna be a really good disc for you to check out at a 7-speed.
That flew really nice. No glide at all. I guess that's what it's made for, right? With the concave top, pretty cool.
I feel like that could be pretty useful, especially when throwing into some wind.
I think there's gonna be a lot of people who really enjoy the way this feels for the forehand.
I really love this. I definitely think there's a slot for this in the bag, and I can't wait to use it on tour.
Ben's a pro who spent $25 on his premium driver and threw it 413 feet, which means he spent about 6 cents per foot for his shot. Matt's a total noob, but he only spent $5 for his premium driver on discountdiscgolf.com. He throws his 213 feet, which means Matt only spent 3 cents per foot for his shot, making him the clear winner in this distance battle. Cheap discs are better. It's science.
You know, people, there is a thing broadcasting these big-time events on Disc Golf Network, and some of these events are only on Disc Golf Network Pro, and we're trying our very best to give you some clues about when to sign for Disc Golf Network Pro. Take a look at the screen. We have 35% off of your first month of Disc Golf Network Pro, and we have the European Disc Golf Festival and the Pro Worlds coming in Finland on DGN Pro, and you can get it now for the cost of the DGN Standard. There is not a better way to use this code. You can scan the QR code or visit our page to get 35% off. And you can use the code Krokhol Pro to get that discount. Now back in the action with you on hole 14, that's Davidson. Circle 2 for Daniel. Now Gannon, tee of 4.
A little bit early. It's interesting. A lot of these guys go for this force flex because they don't want to leak too far off to the left.
Isaac. This is gliding. And jumping.
Yeah, that is crushed. Yeah, there's that flat spot on the left side of the green. If you hit right to the basket, you get that upslope that kind of slows everything down. This looks a little better from Rick.
Yeah, that's how you want to play it. Don't go too far into that spruce. He has a nice putt for another birdie. Holland trying to get back even par. Knut in the air. Oh, this is tight. And gets through and hits a tree and rolls into the bullseye. That's the way to play. Is that called the local route?
Yeah, that's the local love right there. Missed the line, but the course goes, "Oh, you're our hometown boy."
Welcome. Welcome, wee lad.
Off you go. My favorite is just how it just dies right here.
It should keep going downhill.
No, it's got to be parked.
Yeah.
Bullseye's here.
Now tee of 6, Jakub Semerad, currently 2 down through 6. Excuse me, 2-5 in the air with a turnover. Settle down.
That's great. That is so great. Hole 6 requires just such a specific, hard turnover backhand. Well done.
Gannon Burr. That's going to be a par. Yeah, and a layup from Isaac. Now Richard. Another bird. I think he got mad on green number 1. He got real mad.
Oh, he totally did.
Now he's 2 birdies done after 4 holes.
Well, you've heard him say it before. He said sometimes the bogey on 1 is like dumping a bucket of water on you. It kind of wakes you up a bit.
Suddenly, Ricky's back in the game. Now Gannon stays 2 down with this putt for par. Knut Wallenholland tapping in the birdie, and he's now back even for the day. That is great to see. So we see Daniel Davidsson putting for birdie. And so settles down, hits the band from circle 2, and just drops down. We're headed to hole number 5. Talk to us, Brian.
Yeah, well, 574. And you think about that distance, 175 meters. A lot of guys in this division can go for this. There's no OB on the right side. Saw some players playing a forehand out, trying to just get up and down for the 3. There's a bit of a drop off behind the basket. My thought is, and we should check in with Nate Perkins, I want to see some guys blast this tee shot. Perkins, on the ground, what is the wind direction here?
It's actually a pretty solid wind direction for the Eagle look. It's a bit of a tailwind left to right. So that's your max distance wind. Up on the tee, you can't really feel that at all. So that if they want to check it, they're going to walk out into the fairway to feel it. And then up here by the green, it's also pretty protected. So the miss would be to hold it on turn versus stabling out early and finding that OB and losing the stroke and distance.
Wysocki sticking to his game plan for birdie. Ooh, close to hitting that small banner out of bounds, but misses it and bounces back in the middle of the fairway.
It's a fast green with some drop-offs behind it. Definitely want to bite off some distance.
Holland, tee of 5. Oh, this needs to hold.
Oh, and it does.
My goodness, it does. Just barely stays in. That's some nice distance off the tee, man.
Yeah, it's going to be a nice, gentle putter shot into the green.
Now, this guy is one of the players, talking about Gannon Burr here, that if you say that, you know, Gannon, there's a nice wind on this hole currently. I mean, do you have the arm to go for the basket? I don't know if you do.
Yeah, he's going to play the golf shot. He is going to go turnover, though.
Yeah, that disc tells us something, that he wants the control.
Definitely wants to push it a little bit. He's going to have options from there.
I think it slammed at the end.
Isaac Robinson, tee of 5. Powerful Anheuser throw. And that is A bit tight, but finds a way through the branches. And he's on the fairway. Back to 6 with Jakub Semerad putting for birdie. Yeah, this is not the putt you want on 6th. But you could be way more down.
There almost doesn't feel like a putt that you want. Beautiful stick on the strong side.
Semerad in for the birdie.
Yeah, spin putter like him hitting metal on that with that hyzer, that's guaranteed to be gone.
Davidson, tee of 15, one of the signature holes on this course. This is in danger. And a red flag for Daniel Davidson. A very bad mistake for Daniel on tee of 15. Now back to tee of 7 with Jakub Semerad. Another par 4, 193 meters. This is looking money. Ah, that's the place where you aim.
Lining up some fairway shots here on 5. Perkins, lay it out for us. What do these guys have angle-wise?
Yeah, everyone's in a great spot. I mean, I would pretty much classify them as chip shots, right? You've got the draw for the backhand for Isaac, and the other 3 players are just going to throw overstable approach discs, and this part of the green is kind of protected from the wind here.
It's very easy for the disc to get away from you if you don't stall it into the green. Can't really slide it. It's a bit risky with that drop off.
Isaac Robinson under the cage, and Ricky hitting the pole. Slight roll down, but he's fine. 6 meters away for a birdie. Take a look at this again.
And I kind of want to see what the result would be if it didn't hit the pin. And I think it would have been kind of 50-50 whether or not it would have caught edge and rolled. But he's there in C1.
Burr. Circling towards the basket. I didn't know you have a remote control on these discs nowadays.
Well, we saw Canute doing the same thing. Yeah, I missed the boat on that as well.
I hope the studio will give me some intel in my ears about those. I wouldn't want to. Now Knut. Furthest off the tee on 5. Just a cheap shot with the forehand. Is this a bit cooked?
It's a bit cooked, but still good enough speed to where it's not going to fly past the pin.
Yeah, that is true. Nice bunch of birdie putts coming in. You might assume that when those guys are so far off the tee that they would just be in the bullseye, but that's something that might come into play here. You might be deceived by these distances, and these professionals, even though many of them have played this course before, you don't have time to hone in those specific distances on different spots of the fairway, and you are challenged by these further putts, should we say 8 to 10 meters, a lot on this course.
Well, yeah, because the greens are not simple, so to speak. There's a lot of death putts, tricky risk-reward situations.
Holland gets the birdie. Wysocki also in the bucket. That's what we expect from these players on this caliber.
Yeah, I would say hole 5 is one of the more straightforward par 4s that they play. There's a little bit of trickiness that comes into play, but really they all have the distance to get way up the fairway and come into the green with something soft.
Yeah, averaging about 0.45 under par. Easiest hole on the course.
Yeah, I think they could give a little bit more teeth on the tee shot make that second shot a little bit faster disc potentially.
Now Davidson on 15 after going out of bounds off the tee. This is a par 5, so he could still save the par, but this is bad. Another red flag for Davidson. He needs to do something quick to save the double bogey. My gosh. And that's what this course makes you do and gives you those decisions. Now Semerad on 7th.
A little bit short. The aggression rewards you on this hole by giving you a better view of the green and the basket. If you throw the conservative shot to stay straight, like Jakub did, you barely see the top of the pin.
Wysocki tee of 6 goes with the forehand on this 100-meter heavy turn to the right, par 3.
It's got to be really high and tight if you want to throw that counterclockwise spin.
Yeah, that is not good. That's fine. About 16 meters. And again, the basket is on a hill, and behind that there is just jungle and a downhill. Holland, also with the forehand. That's how you do it. That is in the bullseye for the Norwegian. Yeah, he challenged the trees on the left. Wanted to hyzer more and he got it. Ricky told us earlier he wants to risk the trees in the right side corner to get the distance. How about Gannon? Goes wide. Yeah. That's how you do it. And stop. He actually hit those branches on the left, but he got through, and the overstability of the disc just kept it going on the ground. Multiple skips for Gannon, and Isaac being the only one from the bunch taking backhand. And there is no question why he did it.
Yeah, that's the blueprint for the backhand there. Maybe a little bit softer landing, but the angle, the height, everything was so good.
A real nice, solid forehand form from Knut. Again, overstable driver, gets the skip. And lands under the bucket. Now Davidson back on 15. Now throwing already his 5th. He's halfway done with the hole.
Nice and soft. Oh boy.
You don't say. What is going on? Daniel Davidson, 3rd out of bounds on 15.
At this point, you can start to feel like you're panicking. Like you're not quite sure what's going on. Needs to slow down and take a breath.
Semerad for birdie on 7th. The disc disappears a bit because of the green is on a hill once again, and it slopes to every direction. Now Ricky for birdie on 6. Walks it in. Oh, he's jogging now, so
he jogs on that one, but not the 100-foot throw-in. Okay.
Yeah. We see where we're going, Richard.
I think this is the buildup of momentum. He might be sprinting to the next jump putt he hits.
Yeah, this just in. Ricky's fine.
Yeah, this is what he does.
Isaac Robinson takes his 3rd birdie of the day. Goes 3 down. Ricky currently 2 down with the single bogey on 1. And now Gannon Burr putting for his 4th birdie. Oh, that's right side, but it stays in. And Holland. Another tap in birdie. That's 3 in a row for Knut. And the lead card looks solid. They're on a birdie streak. 2 star frames in a row. I'm talking about birdies. We have a birdie zone coming up on hole number 7, brought to you by the Boda Brothers and the Birdie Pro board game.
Yeah, not that long of a hole, but it does go pretty significantly uphill. And yes, you can birdie from that far back. But like I was saying, visibility changes. The closer you get to the basket, the more uphill you get, the more of an understanding you have of where you get to land. Otherwise, it's a tough blind shot with added distance.
Wysocki on the tee. Oh. That is headed right.
Yeah, he yanked that over. I don't know if he was trying to maybe get that disc to flex back and it was just too low.
Holland. Goes with the hyzer route. And it works well.
Works very well. Really well done.
Gannon Burr. Also going with the hyzer.
Yeah, it looks like he had his straight disc in his hand, saw Knut's shot and said, oh, that's not too bad of an idea.
Isaac Robinson, 4th on the tee.
And he's going to do the exact same thing and land in the exact same spot. Curious to see where Ricky's is. They do have him on the fairway.
Now Davidson already throwing 7. I mean, go in at this point. Well, goes past the basket. There is out of bounds behind the basket. And it is the 4th out of bounds for Daniel on hole 15. And that is in the change. Man, that was practically a par putt, but with 4 out of bounds strokes. Talk about what might he be going through in his head?
Well, I was originally saying slow down and take a breath. I think he needs to even just remember to breathe. These are the moments where you start to feel tense, your heart starts to race, you start to feel hopeless. You're still in it. You're shooting a good round. You built up some cushion. You're not where you want to be right now, but you're still fine. He just needs 1 or 2 good shots to feel perfect out of his hand. He'll be right back on the horse.
We're with our first feature card again. Ricky Wysocki approaching the basket on 5th. Excuse me, on 7th. Forehand. That is on the green. On the downslope.
Yeah, that's really close, actually. That's great speed control from Rick. I mean, coming in hard, hyzer, to just get past the basket. Now Gannon going different slot. A couple speeds slower. And he's on that left side, so he's going to get to pan one.
Oh, what a roll for Gannon Burr. And that was practically his aim, just be in the ditch on the right side, but then he got a roll away and rolled along the ditch into the woods.
And I think if you're being picky, I think he'd rather have it land a little bit flatter, kind of like Isaac tried to do. Came in on Heiser, obviously didn't want to miss on that side. But yeah, he lost a coin toss.
He might not have a proper putt from where he's at. Holland. Again closest to the pin of the tee. Doesn't like it. Yeah, that's way too early right.
AB on tricky, hole number 8. Just a subtle hyzer off to the left, but it can't crash left.
Øyvind Giannis. Chase card. Currently teeing off on 8. Anthony Barella having the honors, taking birdies from 6 and 7. And this is low. Øyvind wants it to skip. And a skip he gets.
Perfect positioning on that tee shot. Got the forward skip.
Niklas Anttila. Nothing too flashy at this point. He's got 2 birdies and 5 pars. Oh, needs to stable up. Kinda does.
Nice little kick back to the middle. I saw what he was trying to do. Steep hyzer. Really shaped the disc on that one. Didn't quite commit to the angle.
Semerad. Ooh, same story as Niklas, goes to the right but gets somewhat through. He's on the right side of the gap. Now Holland back on 7 for the birdie. That looked so good. Goes past the basket on the right side. Isaac Robinson. Showing us some skills on the putting green. Circle 2, 15 meters.
There's something about a pure spin putt like Isaac's, having perfect speed too. It's just one of the prettiest things to watch in disc golf.
And where are Holland and Burr? Yeah, Gannon actually might have something. They're still trying to locate Knut's disc.
Yeah, if you're over it, you're fine. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be the local Norwegian Knut Valen Holland. Now putting for par, but this might just be a layup for bogey. Let's see. Yeah. And now he's on the green. That's gonna be Knut's second bogey. after a really promising birdie streak from 4 to 6. Dropping down one spot. And now Gannon Burr for birdie.
Oh, wouldn't this be nice?
Yeah, he's got an aim. Sailing past the basket from the right. That's a par.
This is for Rick's 4th birdie in a row. Yes, sir.
He gets it done. Ricky Wysocki 4 down through 7 holes with a single bogey on 1. That is something else. It's like he wanted us to have something to talk about after hole 1, and then he remembered where he's at. Wow. We're gonna have a short commercial break on DGN at the moment, and we'll be right back.
Experience is the greatest teacher, and I'm so blessed after 40 years and 150 so courses, every project I'm still learning. I think when you get down to it, a lot of it is about vision. There's the vision for individual holes. There's the vision for the property and what it can become as a course and what it can become as a venue. And then there's the vision for what disc golf can become.
Some of my favorite discs in my bag are the A-Series discs. They're the ones I lean on to get close to the basket, and each of them have a consistent grip. So as you cycle through the series, you won't have to change the way that you hold the disc. These are torque-resistant discs that are more stable than the PA Series, provide a consistent fade at the end of the flight. The best way to find your flight is to get out and use these discs yourself.
Made from the earth, Rhino harnesses the power of plants and the sun to create topical performance products that are good for us and our earth. Formulated by a pharmacist and built by a chef, Rhino's unique line of products helps adventurers perform better and enhance recovery.
Come over here, like this way. So you're gonna line up straight to the gap also. We'll try again.
Yes, this ad is exactly that boring. Luckily, our backpacks are much cooler than this video, and you can also use the promo code to get the bag at a great price on our website, puredisc.net. Same-day shipping and worldwide delivery.
Back in the action from Krokhol Open 2025, round 1 for the MPO, and Richard Wasaki is on the tee of 8.
Subtle push to the left. Gotta stay centered up. Second shot is a massive flex. Nice shot there from Rick.
Isaac Robinson. Gets through the branches. He's on the fairway. I wish all you saw Brian Earhart's eyes after that shot landed.
That could have been really bad, and it ended up really good. Positioning is just everything on this small hallway.
Gannon Burr in the air.
And that is what Isaac's could have been, and now Gannon, maybe because he's super tall, can stretch out and throw something. But it's not going to be a birdie.
Knut Valen Holland currently 1 down for the day. 2 single bogeys, 3 birdies on the tee of 8. Wants it to travel left. Gets a kick but doesn't get any help.
That's not going to be fun on that side.
Yeah, there is a reason this hole is the hardest hole on the course, and it has been so for many years already.
Because if you have to pitch up short of this OB kind of fake pond in the middle of the fairway, the shot up to the pin to save par is still really difficult.
Holland throwing 2. Oh, hits the fairway low and it skips left into the trees. And Ricky wants to force a stable fairway disc up and over, and
oh no,
finds the out of bounds.
Yeah, he ripped over on it with no height.
Yeah, that Raptor just sank down. Now Gannon Burr. He's lucky he doesn't have any more trees in front of him.
Yeah, look at all he can do there. His pitch out, and now the up and down is still very tough. He's still going to have to throw driver. Downward sloping green once you get into the woods. You have to hit the brakes.
Think about it, if he was on the other side of that small spruce there. He had nothing, but that was a solid pitch out. Isaac Robinson in perfect position.
Yeah, dream scenario, he's about 5-10 feet to the right. Gives him that room on the left side, but I think he still has plenty of space.
Isaac in the air. It is too tight though. It is.
Whatever he threw was just wicked overstable. That thing found Heiser really quick, and he's going to be short in that wood line, and that's not fun back there.
He might have something from where to approach the basket for par, but it's not a simple task. And Holland Did he actually avoid the trees on the left? He's gonna take a run up, so he must have... Yeah. Throwing 3 now. Has a solid distance. Oh, this has it, Brian. Even goes a bit long on the opening, but he might have skipped down for a putt.
It'd be a great par. Yarnis. Uphill par 3.
And roll down, please. Yes, I'm a local, so please give me a roll down the hill. Yeah, great result for Øyvind on 9. Again and Burr. Now throwing 3. I mean, think about if you land here off the tee. That would be something else.
It would. It would take a lot of aggression, but...
And
fantastic landing. He threw it flat enough to where it's not going to come in with a ton of pace.
Putting for par. That's how you do it. Beautiful shot from Jakub Semerad. Yeah, Ricky finding obstacles, both mental and physical obstacles, second time today. Struggling on hole 1 after finding out of bounds off the tee. And now finds the out of bounds island on 8th.
It seems like any hole you're not completely crisp on, you're going to get punished in some way, shape, or form.
Anttila on 9. And that's a fine result. Putting for birdie. 5 meters away. Yeah, look at this. Isaac Robinson now putting with his 3rd. And finds a way to get to the green.
Gets to the green. He still has a little bit of meat left on the bone. Find Knutes. This is really nice from where he was at. And this would just be a great par save. As would Gannon Burrs. They have him sitting at 19 feet.
Holland saves the par on 8. Very well done.
Yeah, that's a big boost, too. I mean, you missed through the tee shot, but you got up and down for the par.
Now Gannon Burr also trying to save par. Does it. That is in the bucket, left side for Gannon Burr. And now Wysocki putting for bogey. That's in. Dropping down to -3 for the day. Yeah, although Ricky must be disappointed at these couple blemishes on his card, he's totally in for a good round still.
Well, especially after rattling off 4 birdies in a row, getting 5 of the last 6, and then capping it off with another bogey.
Isaac Robinson And chains out from the left. That was not an Isaac Robinson putt. Yeah, 2 left, and that is a tap-in bogey for Robinson. Well, Ricky had some tough time earlier this round on hole 1, and now the second blemish on hole 8. Another very, very famous disc golfer called Paul Macbeth. A very tough start for his tournament. Take a look at this.
We were seeing it yesterday. He was just not crisp during the match play. And I guess he was continuing that into today. That's just not a start I think anybody would have picked for him.
Currently +3 with 2 birdies from 7 and 9. Before that, man, 5 over par from the first 4 holes. On hole 8 today, we had 4 birdies from MPO. Hjalte Jensen, Henrik Holland, Calvin Heimberg and Eli Swanson. Now we are flying through the hole number 9. A nice contrast for the hole 8.
Yeah, 85 meters. Only OB that you're going to have is if you blast one long past circle 1. Players got to throw something a little bit understable. They don't have to overshape it because this left side is sloped down towards the green. You kind of have a backstop. One of the more forgiving holes out here.
Gannon doesn't get through. Turns it over too much. Holland. Wants it to turn. It holds the line. Oh no, no, stop. That was headed to the right with a swift pace, but it settles down. Circle 1 putt for birdie.
This is kind of what I'm saying about playing that left side. You don't need to be super perfect. You'll get a little carry back to the basket. Or you could be perfect. You could just throw a laser beam. That's fine too. Don't get me wrong.
Ricky once again making those course designers' dreams come true. We saw a laser beam just like Brian told us. Isaac Robinson. A bit higher than Ricky, going to the left. Comes out of the bush. 7 meters left for birdie. Take a look at this again.
Yeah, just a baby hyzer flip. Special to have a disc in your bag that flies kind of that line. Just the slowest bit of flip, not too overstable or understable.
Now tee of 10. A very beautiful view of the tee. Niklas Anttila, 126 meters downhill, goes with a slow disc and a turnover. Oh goodness, this is gliding. Nicely done.
We're going to see a few different plays here depending on the wind. And just like that.
Anthony Barella.
Opposite play styles.
Bullseye's edge for AB. Am I wrong if I say that if there is a Spike Heiser line, AB will take it?
Most of the time, yes.
That is the way we've used to see AB play on these coverages. He throws a disc and it just vanishes.
But the evolution of AB is he's learning a little bit of restraint and he's throwing the putter when he can.
Yes. Gannonburr had nothing else but to lay up for par on 8th. Hey, this is 9th. And Holland now for birdie. Cashes it in.
Knut's holding his own right now. Couple of bogeys. Hole 2, hole 7. Still 2 under par.
Isaac. Easy birdie. Now 4 down. Tyne Gannon Burr on top of the card. Ricky will also join them with a tap-in birdie. So 3 players in first feature card, 4 down through front 9. Back on 10th, Niklas Anttila, about 9-meter putt for birdie. In the heart, not a question about it. 4 birdies, 6 pars, that's it. And Benjamin Callaway having a nice round for himself. Currently tied 6th with 6 under through 12. As we fly over this hole 10, brought to you by Zenny Eyewear for everyone.
I feel like there's been a nice spacing of these beautiful downhill par 3s. You get one on hole 4, come up to hole 10, right at the halfway point of the course, and you get to do it again. And this is a little bit more exposed as well. You're going to see some guys go turnover, forehand, spike hyzer. Nate Perkins down on the ground. What's the wind doing? How is this going to affect the guy's shots?
Yeah, it's kind of a head left to right, which is actually somewhat good for the hyzer over the top. It kind of prevents it from gliding out too far left, but it actually makes the forehand or even the turnover straight that much harder. Brings that right OB more into play.
Well, taking a trip to the graveyard, a tombstone spike hyzer from Canute. Clearly, this might be helping the guys throwing the really overstable stuff. Control the distance a bit. Ricky not doing that. Going slow and overstable. A little bit of turn.
That is a beauty out of Richard Wysocki. Very similar shot to Niklas's that we just saw, but with a bit more height. Robinson wants to do something similar. This is headed right. Gets help from the trees, and he's inbounds.
All right, so we got 2 birdie putts in the backhand. Straight. And now we're going to see 2 shots going high. Getting word from Nate Perkins that the wind is changing on Gannon right now compared to what the other 3 saw.
Doesn't mind it at all.
Totally fine.
That is a great pack of 4 discs on the green of 10.
I would not be surprised if somebody explodes this basket on one of these tee shots.
Thank you FlightFactoryDiscs.com for sponsoring our drone footage at Krokhol Open. If there is a place to use drone in Europe, this is one of those places.
And if the drone zooms out even a bit more, just the vast amount of forest space that there is around this course is unbelievable. Just being a half hour south of the capital city, talk about a perfect professional disc golf venue.
Yeah, make sure to visit FlightFactoryDiscs.com. Check out their disc golf apparel and inventory. I really like this hole 10. It seems so simple. But then, considering the wind and the out of bounds everywhere, you have to really control the shot, whichever you are choosing.
Yeah, I think the players throwing the spike hyzer are probably taking a tiny sigh of relief. Being able to not have to control everything. They can at least tombstone one into the green. They don't have to worry about the slope.
Isaac Robinson showing us his skills on the green once again. This was his 5th birdie. Excuse me, I'm wrong again. 6th birdie. 1 single bogey, and that makes him 5 down through 10. Knut Valen Holland for birdie. At this moment, Starting to look like another star frame. This would be the third one for our feature card. Let's see, Gannon in the left to right crosswind. He's done it well. And Ricky, 5 meters. Gets the birdie. That is a star frame.
Yeah, they get a little bit of a reprieve here on hole 10. Now they got to go up to hole number 11, which takes unbelievable speed, precision. They're pretty much forced to throw a faster disc. Back to the technicality.
Talking about 11, here we are. Niklas Anttila on the tee. 149 meters.
A lot of these guys trying to just drag one down this left side. Not bad.
Yeah, circle 2 for Niklas Anttila. Anthony Barella.
Well, we saw him in practice throwing a Luna at the basket.
Yeah,
Not the tournament play. This is totally fine, though. What a shot. And
Yeah,
I know for a fact that's not a faster driver.
Benjamin Callaway on your screen. Tee of 13. Oh, stay inbounds. That is not in. And Benji is going to the drop zone.
Perkins, we're talking about the technicality and distance of 11. Can you kind of paint us a picture of what these guys are going to be looking at?
Yeah, this requires one of the more high-level shapes on the course. Some players do try and go with the big hyzer right. I don't love that play, haven't loved it over the years. There are hundreds of these really skinny birch trees which form this really thick rough. If you don't get the hyzer over the top of those final birches, you could find yourself behind that wall. And then if you do, you often have, you know, circle 2 putt back at it. So the high level play for the park job is going to be a 500-foot driver shot that barely moves from left to right and finishes straight. Don't see it very often, but when we do, it's a thing of beauty.
Anttila is putting for par now on 11th. Here's Øyvind Janes also putting for par, and that is too low.
This was just such a frozen rope from AB.
Now putting for birdie. Yeah, that was a sad putt from Anthony Barella. So low, he hits the rim. Not a chance for the disc to stay in the basket. Waving a bit around his head. There are some bugs on this course as we have this very hot summer day in Norway. The horseflies and the others have woken up. Semerad takes the par on 11th. Anttila finds the chains for par. So we'll do AB.
AB just struggling from circle 1 this year. 85%, not terrible in the grand scheme of things, but 23rd on the tour. He's the second best circle 2 putter. Just can't get it going when he's close. Ben's drive went OB. We kind of skipped over it on 13. This is for par.
Saves the par. That is crucial for Ben Callaway. Looking at the leaderboard currently, Jacob Blair Raven Newsome, Evan Smith. 3 Americans holding the top position. 8 down through their rounds already. Ezra Aderhold, another fresh DGPT champion. Currently on hole 18. He's 7 down with Gavin Babcock and Onni Ruusunen, both of who have already finished their rounds earlier today. And Benjamin Callaway, Lauri Lehtinen, both of them charging for the lead position. Lauri Lehtinen 1 hole ahead of Benjamin.
Man, 11, we've talked so much about it. I just think it's a fantastic pro-level disc golf hole. And when we think about this place as an old traditional golf course, I can't even fathom this being a fairway. Transitions perfectly to this game, and we've seen guys throw slower discs at it. Again, I joke about it, but AB did get a putter there in practice.
Holland. Going high hyzer from the right.
This is a Plinko play. It's very thick on the right side. A lot of these guys are saying, I don't trust my shaping at this distance consistently. Might be able to sneak through and get myself something.
Waisaki.
I think that was decent, but man, 3 feet to the left. Might have gotten a really nice skip. I also like this distance because it showcases the individuality of the players. How do they stretch a distance driver? Are they flex player, hyzer flip player? What side of the fairway do they like to put the disc on?
Isaac Robinson in the air. This is turning right. And on the right it stays. Yeah, there's not any out of bounds on this hole 11.
Yeah, not many birdies on this hole. A lot of pars.
Gannon Burr.
Big stall.
Well, he got a lift, I believe, from the wind, and he's way left, but he should be pin high. We'll see soon. Antila, tee of 12. At first glance, these tee shots look pretty similar, but then you realize that, oh, this is a long par 4 just straight up ahead of me.
Yeah, you got a funneling fairway. The more you want to bite off, the easier you want to make that shot to the green, the more precise you're going to have to be with your landing.
Semerad. That was a risky play, I feel like, but it pays out. Great positioning. AB immediately starts to look down on his feet. Come out of there.
Frustrating spot. He's going to have to pitch out, and he's still going to be faced with a challenging shot to the pin. Reminds me a lot of hole number 8.
How about Øyvind Janes? Very similar to Semerad. Wants a big skip. Doesn't quite get it.
Yeah, really doesn't get the push back to the middle.
Benjamin Callaway, now tee of 14. That is turning nicely, but there is a slope on the right.
That should be okay. Maybe circle 2.
He's past the out of bounds. Or he should be, at least. Isaac forced to make A layup play on 11th. Joey Buckets, welcome to the stream. Tee of 14. This is looking beautiful.
Not a bad way to be welcomed onto the network. Joey's having a decent day as well. And this is the problem with the over-the-top play.
The fresh Norwegian champion, and he gets the applause. Knut Valen Holland sticks the green. And where's Ricky? He has a putt. Circle 2's edge. Now, this is about 15 meters. Go in. So close. Darn, that was close. Bouncing on the rim on the left side. But that was the problem. 2 left.
10 birdies on the day here in 11. 67% of the field getting the par here. Talk about a course with great scoring separation. This hole actually has some of the least. Not going to kill you to take a par. Perkins, as we see Gannon line up this putt after going over the top, what do you make of this over the top play?
Yeah, as I mentioned before, I really don't love the hyzer. I think that rough is just so thick. If you push the hyzer too straight and you get caught up in that rough like Knut did, it can just be a world of hurt. Double bogey actually is brought into play. And then if you do succeed, you end up where Gannon is, which is like up on this hill outside of C1 with like a weird putt. So I think it's a good way to play the hole for par if you get way left, but don't love it for the birdie play.
Thanks, Perk. Benjamin Callaway snacks the birdie on 14.
He's got such a smooth push putt. You want to learn how to putt that way? You watch that man.
Holland coming back for par. No way. That's 2 right. He's got about 4-meter putt left for bogey. Yeah, that's a shame. Isaac Robinson, on the other hand, saves the par. That is in for bogey.
Curious to see how the decision-making changes over the weekend for these players here in 11.
Back with our chase card, Øyvind Janes on 12.
Oh, man, that is extremely high-level shot shaving from Jarnes. That is perfect.
That was such a beautiful shot. Now Anttila wants to follow suit. This is looking pretty nice, too. He's right there.
And what's crazy about what Jarnes just did, he can't see the pin from there.
Yeah, no. He totally can't. Semerad. This is headed a bit left.
Circle 2's edge, it looks like.
I mean, have I not been notified, or isn't that shot on hole 12 kind of interestingly tough? It seemed like such a simple shot from those Øyvind and Niklas.
Yeah, made it look simple, but that's why hole 12 is a tough hole, is the distance to get up there it's big.
And Ezra Aderholt there, his scorecard on your screen just a moment ago, he made this course look pretty simple. I mean, the back 9, 5 down, front 9, it's just solid doing.
Well, we got to key in on the fact that he missed cash here last year. 12 months has done Ezra Aderholt a lot of justice. He's really evolved as a player. He's gotten the fundamentals dialed in. His touch has gotten better. His putting's more consistent. Love watching him kind of slowly rise to that elite level. And we've known it for a long time that he has the potential to.
6 American players currently holding the top 6 positions at the Krokhol Open, as a bit over half of the MPO round 1 is done. Ricky Wysocki now tee of 12.
He just wants some visibility, pushing it to the middle or that left side. It opens things up a little bit.
Isaac Robinson.
He doesn't like it. That's gonna be tricky.
He was looking fine for a moment, but then gets a nasty curl to the left side.
He might have some footing, but it's not going to be as stable as if he was a few feet right.
Well, that's an overstable disc.
Yeah, it should be just fine.
Gannenberg gets some skips on the fairway. And Knut Wallen-Holland. 4th on the tee, the last MPO player to tee off on 12 today.
Oh yeah.
Settle
Sits
down.
Down.
He's just about 1 meter closer to the fairway than Isaac is, and he's exponentially better off.
Yeah, I feel like when you look down the fairway here, so much green space to land, but really there's a lot of red zones to where if you land your disc there, you kind of feel frustrated or pinched off.
Callaway, tee of 15. Now this is more like it.
Yeah, this is Ben playing golf. He's got every bit of 600 feet of distance and just wants to keep the blood pressure low on 15.
Jakub Semerad, putting for birdie on 12. Yeah, immediately knows he gave too little effort to that. Anthony Barella now putting for par. In the bucket. Niklas Anttila now putting for birdie 6 meters away. Throwing 2 shots on 12 and having a 6 meter putt for birdie is something else.
Yeah, it's a pretty massive uphill shot.
Joey Buckets on 15. Just settle down. Yeah, he should be fine.
Yeah, look at the respect these guys are giving this tee shot. This is just going to show you how tricky it is to even stick one in play. We saw what happened to Davidson.
Robinson. He gets a really nice throw from his position and he's putting for birdie.
That's all you can do.
Come on.
What else would he have been able to do to get inside circle one? That's really nice. That's how good these guys are. They just want a chance.
Now, Brian, have you seen that disc before?
Yeah, for the past few years now, since he joined Discmania, it's been his noble steed, that's for sure.
Give me a 2, baby.
And no wonder why. Ladies and gents, Cannonbur.
Here's what I love about this PD that he's throwing. That's a pretty flippy disc if he throws it hard. He is backing off of it pretty significantly and popping the nose up ever so slightly to pull off that flex.
Wysocki wants some stability. He's got a putt. Circle's edge. Just outside. Knut Van Holland also has to go with the hyzer flip.
This has got to be really direct.
Fine. Fine shot. Buckets on 15. Shot number 2. That's how you want to play the hole.
And now you can get a little aggressive on that next shot up to the pin, but unless you're going for the eagle, I don't think there's too much aggression that needs to be done or displayed.
Callaway. Oh. Risking the right side, but fading inbounds. Last year, I remember several players hitting the branch with their second shot on 15 on the right side, just dropping down out of bounds. Anttila, tee of 13. Oh. That is a risky play from Anttila, and he's out of bounds most likely. Yeah, that's a red flag.
Yeah, backhand players have a tiny sliver they can land on if they want to get close.
Semerad forcing over a forehand on 13.
Oh!
Hits the pole, and that rolls out of bounds for Jakub Semerad. What a nasty result.
You know, I've had that exact same thing happen to me. I feel you, Jakub. That is a tough feeling. Disc feels good out of your hand. Excitement of almost acing.
Holland for birdie. Hits the band on 12. Just the tiniest bit off for Knut Valen Holland on that putt. He still has 5 birdies today, but those 3 single bogeys not helping him at all.
Oh, this would be a great birdie for Isaac. With the wind.
He was pinched real close to that rock. It didn't look to me like he got his full swing on with that putt.
Yeah, when you're in circle 2 and the wind is kind of gusting and you can't quite get a clean read on it, sometimes it's just an educated guess.
What about it, Ricky? Wanna go 6 down through 12?
Yes, sir.
Wysocki in the chains. 6 down through 12 with 2 single bogeys. And quite a bit of frustration. Ricky's still showing us why he won this event last year.
Well, he's dunking them in from all distances, too. It's those putts just inside circle one that are really important for winning on the Pro Tour.
Gannon Buhr trying to tie Ricky. He's done it. Going head to head towards hole 13, currently tied 8th for the tournament. And Isaac Robinson, what is happening? Putts left. Not a chance to stay in the basket.
I will say, when he first came onto the scene, it was the putt that kind of blew everybody away, especially the long putting. But this season, this has been his kryptonite. He's 42nd on Tour Circle 1. He's 82%. Only 26% from Circle 2. He's 30th on Tour. So throwing the disc, not too bad. Just not converting when he has the chance.
Now Buckets on 15. Throwing 3. Ooh. Sneaks inbounds. And that's gonna be a tough putt. Callaway in the air. This needs to settle down. Settle. It does. That's a putt. We'll have a short break on the network and we'll be right back.
Hammes needs to get something going. And in, Adam Hammes! Hole in one! Incredible!
If you design, if you test, if you manufacture, there is only one technology partner you need. TriMet Group is the leading provider of design, engineering, and manufacturing solutions for thousands of companies across North America and Europe. Innovation starts here. TriMetGroup.com.
Latitude 64º boys down here, just finished checking out the telemetry you have, and everything is A-OK.
Hey, Jonathan, catch. Huh?
Jonathan, we're getting an anomalous critical failure on your suit. Could you please confirm status?
Sorry, man.
Warning, low oxygen.
This summer, discover Estonia and feel the energy of Tallinn. From July 17th, the European Disc Golf Festival brings the sport's biggest stars to the legendary Tallinn Song Festival grounds. Experience world-class disc golf in a land of wild nature, vibrant culture, and medieval charm. Estonia is waiting. Tallinn is calling. Get your tickets now at svibi.com.
What is the simplest way to improve your disc golf game? The answer, learn from the very best. Paul Ulibarri, Simon Lizotte, Ezra Aderhold, and Holland Hanley. They're not just players, they are your elite coaches guiding you every step of the way. The Power Disc Golf Academy is the premier online disc golf academy with over 150 on-demand lessons that are specifically designed to improve your skills right now. So what are you waiting for? Join today at powerdga.com.
If you want to know what a disc is going to feel like before you get it, you have to check out OTB Disc. The first thing I'm looking for when I grab a new disc is the feel of the disc. It's got to be confidence instilled. Virtually in your hand tells you what the disc is going to feel like, how heavy it's going to be. It's everything you want to know before it shows up to your house.
It's really, really helpful in not only finding a disc that looks beautiful, but is also exactly what you're looking for it to feel like. Of course, when you're dealing with OTB, you're going to get only the best.
Benjamin Callaway putting for birdie on 15 to tie the lead. He's done it. Very solid job from Benjamin Callaway, bogey free.
He's one of those guys that always seems to creep up at the right time, and people always go, oh, yeah, of course Ben Callaway's playing on camera. This season in particular, though, not super stellar for him. Been a bit up and down.
Anthony Barella up next on 14, and he's down for a birdie. Bullseye hit for Anthony Barella.
If you're going to go forehand here, you have to watch your landing. The slope on the right comes up quick. Skippy green.
Giannis. Tee 14 wants to skip. Skip in. No, doesn't get any skips whatsoever. In the circle still.
Yeah, it seems like as long as you hit in the grass left of the green, or left of those wood chips, you're okay. You hit the wood chips, kind of turns into a different story if you're going forehand. Seeing some players go with this hyzer line, and I really like it.
Niklas Anttila fades in on time. He's safe, but that is not a nice birdie look. I mean, last year we saw those fun rounds from our players playing outside the tournament. They had the double mandatory there with those 2 trees in the middle.
Maybe one day on the Disc Golf Pro Tour when these guys get too good.
Semerad with the force over. He's looking good. Another ace run from Semerad.
I love that play. Semerad loves to throw over stable stuff and kind of rip over on it. That was a harp, I believe I saw. Beautiful shot.
Wysocki. Oh, look at that. Look at that, folks. Putting for another birdie, about 7 meters away.
Yeah, this is another hole that has pretty equal challenge for the forehand and the backhand. Forehand coming in, obviously you have to throw it pretty hard. You risk hitting that slope and rolling back down OB. Backhand has to land really soft on the high side.
Burr. Yeah, that's the 11-meter putt we were talking about moments ago. You don't want that.
No. If I were to choose somebody to hit one of those putts, might be Gannon.
Well, that is true.
Canute going to show us the backhand. Sunlight hitting the basket so nicely.
Goes through the trees. That's bullseye.
You can play the backhand like that, sure.
I love to see a professional showing us the local routes on this course. Just go through the double mandatory.
What, you guys haven't done that before?
Isaac Robinson. See? Not local. Hits a tree and lands in the trees, and those are actually in bounds. And now the spotter has tough time to see.
Hey, green flag.
Is it still like fading towards the red? Because of he has nothing from there. That's a bad place to be in. Benjamin Callaway, tee of 16, going low. And going strong. That is a circle's edge putt for birdie. He's trying to go for the solo lead. Gannon Burr. Yeah, I mean, no problem. That's casual 11 meters. Nothing but out of bounds behind the basket. Another day at the office for Gannon Burr.
Not a death putt if it goes in.
Tied 5th. Practically tied 2nd. Because he's 1 stroke behind the leaders.
Yeah, not going to even be able to see Isaac from down there.
Is there even somebody in the trees.
Perkins, what are they doing down there? What's the discussion that you're hearing?
Look legal. Yeah.
Yeah, Isaac's just kind of letting him know how difficult it is to even get a legal stance, so he's asking for the card to just come and double check that the stance he's arrived at is legal. He's safe down there, but definitely nothing.
He tried to pitch out, he kinda does, yeah. He's putting for par.
It's going to be one of those annoying straddles where you're kind of on both toes.
Wysocki gets another bird. Now tied with Gannon, 7 down. Isaac takes a par. He's still 4 down through the day. And Knut, finding the local route once again, putting for his 6th birdie with 3 single bogeys that would take him -3 for the day, and that is in. Just hanging on there. Just keep on pushing, Knut. You'll find the birdies soon enough. Back to Callaway on 16. This man can putt.
Yeah, this man can do anything he wants with the disc. It just a lot of times comes down to the decision making and the focus in really tense moments. We'll always see him pop off early in a tournament. When it comes to closing, closest we saw was that final hole at Jonesboro. And just threw that last tee shot out of bounds and gave the win to Anthony Barella. But Ben has come so close so many times.
Now Anttila to your 15.
Not the tee shot to have this wind on.
Hole 18 is only 3 meters longer than this hole 15. Both of them being par 5s, of course. Anttila risks the out of bounds, but stays safe. Wysocki to your 14. Very low for Ricky, but finds the green.
I think he was trying to go kind of same shot type that Jakub did with that harp. Didn't quite get it to bleed over right enough, but on the green.
Now Gannon.
I see. It looks like a little bit of a right to left crosswind. That's why they're dragging over the overstable on the backhand.
Down.
Gannon takes a driver forehand. This is coming in hot. And it skips and kind of stays in the ditch. He has a look for birdie. Outside C1 still. But as we've been seeing today, not a problem for Gannon, who's bogey free, 7 down through 13. He's looking to tie the leaders on the top. And of course, he'll be trailing Benjamin Callaway at the solo lead at that point. Holland. Now this is higher, turning over. Stay in the air, goes through the bush and avoids out of bounds.
Let's see if Isaac can split the difference between the two. You got that crosswind that's going to be pushing down on the top of the disc. Oh, he's going to go hyzer.
Interesting.
With the wind.
This is looking solid.
Yeah.
Hits bullseye and stays close to the bullseye. Job well done for Isaac Robinson.
I think it's pretty easy sometimes to make the wind read and go, oh, I don't want to chance that crosswind shoving my disc, way left of the basket, but it's kind of fine on this hole to be left of the basket. It's a lot less dangerous than sliding off the green right.
Very efficient from Robinson there. Callaway now tee of 17. Gorgeous shot.
Huge tee shot from Ben. You want to get down there really as far as you can to make that island shot at least somewhat palatable.
Brilliant shot off the tee. Now on the green of 14. Holland now putting for birdie. 13 to 14 meters away. Just can't quite keep on the pace on the putting green, although the course is giving him some love.
He's playing with 3 major champions, all of which have won multiple majors, and it's pretty easy to feel like you're falling behind, even though you're not playing that terrible of a round. These guys are just completely on another level than anybody else in the field.
Gannon Burr. That's too low. Wysocki now putting for birdie on 14. In the bucket. And Ricky will take the lead on this card, going 8 down through 14. With 2 single bogeys, he's now tied for the 2nd place. Some fellow Americans there, also -8. Jacob Blair, Raven Newsom, and Evan Smith. Evan acing this very hole, 14, a couple of hours ago. Holland gets the par.
Man, if you're Jacob Blair right now, obviously we've never seen Jacob Blair play in the Disc Golf Network. He's probably sitting there thinking, okay, 8 down, pretty good. Someone's got to come in and beat that, right? Only one guy so far.
Well, it's been a fun ride, and we still have a bunch of action left on the round 1 for MPO. We'll see you soon after this short break.
Great news! UPlay and the PDGA share a mission to provide education and support for healthier lifestyles through the sport of disc golf. By joining the PDGA, your membership dollars are directly at work for these amazing programs, introducing and producing disc golf players all over the world. Support our programs by joining the PDGA or donating here.
champions, record breakers, the future of the game, united under one banner. This isn't just competition, it's a legacy in motion. This is the next chapter. Discraft, built for flight.
Hey, aren't you Anthony Barella?
Yes, sir. Try out this Venom.
Thanks, man.
Ooh, Calvin, looking good today.
Calvin Heimberg.
Sorry, hey, oh, sorry, excuse me, hello, hey, thank you. A Nakwa, I'm looking for a Nakwa. Do you have one?
Hey, Germ, you can't cut in line.
My apologies, you may have noticed I just cut you in line. I'm just looking for a Nakwa.
A Nakwa? Here, use mine.
Got it, thanks.
Hey, hurry up, man. You're taking forever.
Sorry, man. No 30-second rule here. What about that 100% off player discount?
Benjamin Callaway, your current solo leader, throwing 2 on 17. Hits the bullseye. Stay. Settle down. Yeah, that's a nice birdie look. That is the thing on 17. You might still roll out of bounds in between those rocks on the green. Now this is Benji putting for birdie to go double digits, 10 down. Not too much wind on the green. Oh! Hits the chains on the right. And that's a par putt for Callaway. Some nerves maybe coming in?
It happens. Every now and then you start to realize how good you're playing, and sometimes you wake up.
Wysocki tee of 15 with a beauty.
I love this line. That's an overstable disc, but he's ripping it nose down with turn, holding it on that straight line. Isaac likes to do the same.
Needs to hold. This might be in trouble. No, it's not. Haha, I gotcha, folks. Gets a green flag. Now Gannon Burr.
That's big driver. That is a big driver in his hand.
Something overstable, I presume. Oh, needs to fade. Gets a mechanical fade. On the fairway, doesn't get the distance he wanted though.
Dead straight.
Now Benji coming back for par. Yeah, that's it. Well done. Still bogey free after 17.
Yeah, one more chance for birdie on 18. Par 5 that rewards aggressive play. And a little bit of Nico LaCastro.
Great to see him on the coverage. Holland. Tee of 15.
There's a little aggression.
He's going huge and gets knocked down from the branches on the fairway.
Yeah, there's not a lot of room to throw that power shot that hangs out over OB and just like reliably fades in. You have to shape it for distance.
Here's Knut for his second. Oh, this is high. Needs to just settle. Yeah. Throwing uphill kind of helps with that fade.
Yeah, and they get a little generous opening of OB once you get past this barricade. That's why we're seeing a lot of guys on the second shot just kind of pushing out a safe hyzer. Unless you're going for the eagle, there's not much aggression needed.
Wysocki. Well done. Isaac on a very steep slope there, but gets a nice distance.
He made that look
Wow.
way too easy. His whole weight was falling down to the right. The disc needed to go right initially. Somehow kept it on line.
Anthony Barella, TF16. This needs to come back though. Not a chance. Out of bounds and a drop zone calling for Anthony Barella, which is really tough shot.
Yeah, this is coming off of 3 birdies in a row. It's just a disappointing drive for AB. Drop zone's tough too. It's right at that distance where a jump putt starts to feel foolish.
Niklas Anttila currently still 4 down. Wants this to hold. And settle. Circle's edge. Circle's edge for Anttila. Putting for birdie. Holland.
A little bit early.
That's in danger. Red flag. Callaway. T of 18. That is some trust from our camera crew. And Callaway lands in the middle. Wysocki.
This needs to helicopter straight down.
Coming in hot. And barely staying inbounds for Ricky. Looking at the basket for birdie about 11 meters downhill. Now Burr throwing 3.
He says every year. Well, do you park it every year or?
Maybe not. Yeah, I can recall him hitting that slope's edge and then just kind of rolling down or something, but that went well for Gannon. For rest of these holes to come, we're gonna have some crunch time action by our friends at 1010discs.com. They are providing you the rest of these few holes commercial free. As we see Isaac Robinson, this needs to settle down. Bye. Is
Wait.
that on the line? Some miraculous way, Isaac Robinson still inbounds. After coming in so hard to the green of 15. We have a fresh new sponsor on the tour. You can find a QR code on your screen right now, and it comes from Untapped. You can discover thousands of beers and earn farm badges. Connect with the global community of beer enthusiasts, and for this season you can earn an exclusive DGPT badge for each tournament when you check in a beer at the course. So make sure to download the app from Google Play or Apple Store. Now Holland putting for par. Circle to his edge. The line was there, but too low. That's a tap in bogey for the Norwegian. Now Robinson. Kind of off with his putter at the moment.
It's been a pretty great throwing day and has been all year. I believe he's 3rd place on tour in Circle 2 in regulation, yeah. 8th in Circle 1, so giving himself tons of looks.
Yeah, good luck.
And Ricky in the bucket for birdie. He ties Benjamin Callaway on the top. 8th down round today is currently rated 1064.
Yeah, good luck.
And Ricky is chasing another double digits round at Krokhol. As Isaac Robinson saves the par. Gannon Burr practically taps in the every year dude birdie.
Well, I think he was, obviously trying to play left side or right side pin high and then made the mistake and luckily parked it, but you know he probably wasn't going for the park job. But nicely done regardless.
Burr is 8 down without any bogeys. Now we're going to go back to 18 with Benjamin Callaway throwing 2.
Long shot. He's throwing really overstable here. Flawless.
Yeah.
Up and down ahead for Callaway to seal the deal in the first double-digit round of the weekend. And let's take a look at 16. 115 meters, 377 feet downhill. Another one of those par 3s that they sprinkle periodically throughout the course. 4, 10, 16. You get a very challenging and scary, yet seemingly unassuming downhill par 3.
It is one of those holes that you're like, after the daunting 15, I go, oh gosh, finally a nice easy hole. Oh, well, no, my mistake. Out of bounds everywhere.
Everywhere. And you can throw a slow disc on this. You can throw a putter on this hole. But the drop zone is set up in a place to where if you do go OB, you're faced with a really touchy distance. Ricky going overstable putter again. OB.
Wow. Out of bounds. And that's practically, yeah, that is an automatic bogey.
Yeah, you're not going to throw that in. Watch Callaway play to that fat left side. And Gannon's coming up short. I believe that's going to get a red flag.
So disappointing, bro. So disappointing.
That OB comes up just after the bullseye. Surprised we don't see more standstills.
Isaac Robinson on the tee. Stay in. No way. They're laying exactly on top of each other in the river.
Perkins, is there any wind out there that they're having a tough time maneuvering?
In the past 30 minutes, all the wind has just dropped out. The flag is dead still right now. Couldn't be any more calm. Surprising that the 16th has given the field so much trouble.
Holland, just settle down. He's the only player from the first feature card staying in bounds, and he's in the bullseye.
What a scoring spread for these final 4 holes. 16, 30% birdie, 24% par, 33% bogey, 13% double or worse.
Basically a rainbow right there.
And it's across the board for these final holes. Even on the par 5 18th.
Here's Ricky's reaction on his shot. And another disappointing moment for him.
Another one where I'm wondering what these guys are going to do in regards to adjustments. Are they going to keep throwing that same disc, throwing that same line? Are they going to aim in the same spot?
Ricky's in bounds of the drop zone. Now Burr going standstill. That is a nice shot. That is a tap in bogey. That's another 4-meter putt coming up for the feature card. But that will be from the drop zone.
Yeah, two of the same slots. Overstable approach discs. Both sliding a bit deep, man. They can afford to be landing 30 feet short of the basket. Maybe even more.
Ricky has to give one shot back to the field with a bogey on 16. As we'll do Isaac Robinson, Gannon Burr and Knut Wallenholland getting 6 strokes combined from his card mates on this one hole. That is well done. That's how fast things can change here. How about the third shot of Ben Callaway? Currently your solo leader. Oh, that went really close by the basket. He's putting for another birdie. Trying to be the first one at Krokhol Open 2025 to reach double digits. Here he is. For the bird. Oh, too low for Ben.
Yeah, he woke up. He woke up and realized where he was sitting on the leaderboard. His putt was looking so strong.
And to be fair, there is the out of bounds pond just behind the basket there. So that is the miss to make on the line straight up, but a bit too low.
Yeah, it looked like he had even a tailwind too. He just didn't give it the pop.
Still stays bogey free, 9 down, exceptional round.
Yeah, hats off. That's a fantastic start to the weekend. And sometimes we forget how hard this game and really this course truly is. We look down the leaderboard, there's so much talent sitting well over par on the weekend. And I think this spread just goes to show you how tough this course really is.
Just like you told us, some huge names finding trouble on this very course. Joona Heinonen, for example, plus 10 with only 1 birdie for the whole day. James Proctor, plus 7 with 3 birdies. He took a triple bogey on 15 and after that just single bogeys to end his round. Paul Ulibarri, 7 over par. Matty O, 6 over. Yeah, so big time names who have been doing fine on this course. Paul Macbeth saving a bit his situation. He started with 5 over through first 4. Currently he's +1. Still bad round going on for Mr. Macbeth. Now we're on the tee of 17. Holland.
And unique to have us teeing off over the basket of 16. That's inbounds. Island shot on the second. You want to push up this fairway as far as you possibly can feel comfortable doing.
Wysocki. Oh, this is fading left. And it comes back in bounds. Wysocki is saved.
Yeah. I already know he's not even smiling a bit. He's just shaking his head.
The disc said clonk and then rolling down. Got you guys. I'm fine. What a nice roll for Ricky. Gannon Burr. This is headed right. It needs help. Oh, that is out.
Well, I think with Ricky missing left, Gannon missing right, Perkins, has the wind picked up at all? Are these just unforced errors that we're seeing?
No, these misses are definitely unrelated to the wind, Brian. There's, again, just no wind down here. It's a pretty big time miss by Gannon Burr right there as well, because he's short of the corner, so I think he still will go for it, but he's out there 110, 115 meters.
Giant miss for Isaac Robinson.
We're going to take another look for Ricky Wysocki TF17. And I was calling it out of his hand. Hits the rock.
Well, with how beat in that disc is going to be after hitting that rock at 70 miles an hour, might fly straight for him tomorrow.
Yeah, that is not an overstable disc anymore. So 2 players on the fairway on 17 from the first feature card. The par is doable for Gannon, but it's a long way ahead, and he has to stick that tiny island on the green and avoid any skips.
Yeah, they really reward you on 17 for taking that aggression, shaping the disc just a little bit to get extra distance. If you're far back in the fairway, you're approaching this tiny island with something faster. Perkins, what's the estimate for how far back Gannon is to the pin?
Yeah, I gave him 115. Probably a little longer than that. Little bit of tailwind over his right shoulder at the moment. It's a big forehand shot. He could hit it on the all-hyzer if he wanted to. He really wants to try and hit on the left side of the pin if he's going forehand. Grass isn't too skippy outside of these rocks, but if you hit up by the bucket, you can easily skip right and you're headed straight to the drop zone. It would be instant double bogey for him. Got a good push, good initial push. That's going to get the front side of the green. Oh, and just checks up beautifully. What a correction there from Gannon with the 9-speed.
Yep. I got nothing else to add to that. It's just such a good sidearm. In an open field, yeah, good shot. But with the island being smaller than circle 1, come on.
Well, I'm going to borrow Gannon's own words from last weekend. Whatever.
Whatever.
Whatever, dude. I just throw it into the bullseye, tap in my par, and try again on the next hole.
That's just clutch factor, and Gannon's been fighting today. It hasn't been a perfect day for him. Relatively clean up until 16, but missed some scoring opportunities.
Holland throwing 2.
Yep.
And that's how you do it. That's a tap-in birdie coming up.
Being on the left side is kind of nice. If you're throwing the forehand, you kind of have this guideline of the left side tree line to throw the disc. Isaac also has the hyzer backhand to the green.
Robinson hits the last tree on the right side outside of the island, and that's out of bounds. Again.
He's going to have to bring it back to where he last went out of bounds and try attacking the island again.
Yeah, that will be his 5th already. Wysocki stakes the green.
Look how far up he is after hitting that rock.
Yeah.
On a one-angle hyzer.
That's a game plan.
You see the sheer difference of the shot Gannon had to pull off from his spot in the fairway compared to Ricky after getting all the way up there.
Yeah, and Isaac just pitching up to the basket. That's going to be a tap-in double bogey. After a single bogey on 16, Isaac is dropping down to -2 for the day. Easy bird, if you ask Ricky. Unfortunate double for Robinson. Valen Holland gets his 2nd birdie in a row. That takes him 4 down through the day. Very solid. Gannonburr taps in a par. Let's go down to the clubhouse. We have Benjamin Callaway, your current tied 1st place holder. Let's hear what he had to say after his round.
Ben Callaway, -9 on the clubhouse. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
How do you feel about your performance? The bogey-free round is excellent.
I felt very good out there today. I was throwing the disc well. I was putting very well. And that's what I feel like this course is. It's a thrower's course. Give yourself opportunities. And if you get enough of them, you'll make enough of the birdies for them.
You mentioned before that this is your first time in Norway, so your first time here in Krokhol. How do you feel the difference between this type of courses and the courses you play in the US, and how does it suit your game?
Well, one thing about this course in particular is the par 4s are pretty scoreable, but the par 3s are very, very difficult, I've noticed, at least for me in the practice rounds. And sometimes, and I also enjoy the par 5s as well, that you can actually get aggressive with them and potentially eagle. You know, some of the par 5s back in the States, it seems like they're trying to make those the hardest holes on the course. But this one I very much enjoyed.
Okay, so congratulations and good luck for tomorrow.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Great round. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you.
Kind of taking some pages out of the traditional golf handbook. Par 5's usually the ones you can get aggressive on and take those eagles. Now Yarnis on 18.
Sticks the 2nd part of the fairway. And he's currently 5 down through 17. Very well done. Jakub Semerat finding some troubles in the back 9. Still 3 down currently. No, stays in bounds though. Niklas Anttila, 4 down. As of now, 4 pars and a single bogey in the last 5 holes. Sticks it. And Anthony Barella, 5 down, tied with Øyvind Janes. He's on the fairway. He's... what?
I think he might be going for something a little more aggressive, but I'm not sure that paid off.
I don't know if I saw correctly that he hit the tree and dropped down. It might have not been it. Well, here is the top 10 at the moment. Something very interesting. There's only 2 Europeans on the leaderboard at the moment, and all the rest are American players.
Oh, I'm beyond excited for Jacob Blair to get a crack at playing on a lead card.
Yeah, the last time we had the situation where all of the players from the first 2 cards are Americans happened at European Open last year, round 2. Then before that, 2023, the PCS round 3. So once a year we have that kind of a situation, but at this moment, at this current moment, Lauri Lehtinen is sneaking in as a European to the second card. This is the 18th. We're gonna play soon with our first feature card.
Well, we're talking scoreable par 5s. Ben Calloway put it perfectly. This is not going to be the hardest hole in the course. This is tempting you to grab that eagle, not necessarily take that easy chip birdie that the hole offers you. You can throw a big tee shot, push one down the fairway, and then throw that aggressive hyzer we tried seeing Anthony Barella throw. It can definitely be done, but I don't know how many guys really want it after playing this treacherous course. Do they really want to tempt fate again? No eagles so far.
I would argue one of the most picturesque hole 18s in our sport. This Krokhol number 18. And the second feature card has just left the fairway, and the first card is waiting for the confirmation. And they are currently waiting for spectators of the chase card, excuse me, the second card, to move past the landing area. Now Holland off the tee, -4. 2 birdies in a row. Doesn't like it. It's fading left. Does it stay in bounds? It does.
And this removes all temptation from Canute. He's going to be able to put himself into position, just get down. You can take the birdie. It's when you hug that right side a little bit more is when you start thinking, okay, 3 might be in the cards.
Almost 1,000 feet, this par 5. Ricky, out of bounds.
Interesting.
Gannon Burr, next up on the tee. Taking it high. Wants this hyzer to stick the fairway just like that.
Yeah, he doesn't want to make the same mistake Ricky did. That is just fine.
Robinson goes mid height. This is gonna skip a bit, but perfect place whatsoever. Yeah, Ricky actually flies over the first landing area and then doesn't go in bounds at all on the second.
Well, the first thing you see from the side angle is negative launch angle. He's throwing downwards. And he made this mistake on hole number 8 as well, where you could tell he's trying to drag the flex over, which is a high to low shot anyway, and just didn't throw it high. And it's the same problem here. Just got the nose down and didn't quite give it enough height to check back up.
Now, would you argue this is a throw problem and not a stability problem when choosing the disc?
I think it's both. I think it's both because he throws it too low. The disc, if it was super overstable, would have still snapped back. But
so the par is going to be very difficult now for Ricky.
yeah, he's way back here now. And Rick going big.
He's somewhere in those trees, I reckon.
Perkins, what is the read on what Ricky just did?
I actually didn't see his disc come through. I think he was trying to get down all the way to the base level. I didn't see it come through. I think he's got to be OB again, unless that little cluster in the middle is safe. Either way, the par is going to be really tough.
Oh no, he had to throw again.
That is a tough thing to see.
Just crumbling here on the 18th. OB on the 16 gets the bogey. And now out of bounds after 3 throws. And now back in the fairway.
Yeah, why is Saki not making it easy on himself to have a solid ending for his otherwise stellar round? Finds an obstacle, clears the way, takes many birdies in a row, then another time on 8th, makes a mistake, corrects himself, but now he doesn't have any more holes left. Now he just has to survive and wait for the next day.
I also wonder how many players look at that over the top line Ricky tried throwing on the second and see it as a valid option. He's kind of shown us some of the multidimensional plays that you can have here.
Holland throwing 2. Going with the flip. Lands to perfect position. Knut Wallenholland is looking for his 3rd birdie in a row. That would be his 9th for today. But unfortunately he still has 4 single bogeys. But 5 down through the round he's had, through the obstacles he's found, is very good.
Oh, it's completely respectable. Again, you were going through the leaderboard showing how many good players are over par right now.
Isaac Robinson throwing 2. Stays in bounds.
Yeah, Isaac, another one of those players. 6 birdies on the day, 7 birdies on the day, but then goes 4, 6, 16, 17. Just continuing to add to the scoring spread of these final holes.
Gannonburr also in a nice position there. Where is the wind? Practically non-existent, and Gannonburr sticks the fairway. What a chain of events we are witnessing now.
Yeah, Ricky is on the fairway after 5 throws. Best he can get is a 7. Unless he throws in from 262.
If he does, that's going to be the slowest World Cup of history.
It'll be momentumless, yeah. He's like, you guys can wait. I'm going to pull this out of the basket. Gannon Burr, on the other hand, 7 down. Clean round except for hole 16. Made quite a few mistakes. Lots of room to grow for Mr. Burr. Did not look like his most crisp round. I will say, the tee shot on 1 was one of my favorite shots of the entire day.
I'm going to agree you on that. We still have the OTP shot of today to peak. That is a very strong contestant. Now is it Ricky up next? Yeah, there he is. Okay, so he's gonna go forehand and go into the green. He hasn't practiced this. Needs to stick it. Go in. Oh my gosh, Brian. So close of hitting the target in the air and settles down.
Well, he's still got a little bit of work left on this putt for a double bogey. It's going to bring him back to 7 down, tying Gannon Burr. But then Gannon is in a great position to take birdie. He's only 131 from the basket. That's borderline standing putt range for this guy. Perkins, as we walk up the fairway, closing thoughts on the day.
Yeah, even with the wind completely dropping out, I feel like these last few cards were pretty fortunate with that. They still had a lot of teeth. You know, the birdies are there, but, you know, Isaac Robinson got bit. Ricky was, you know, leading the tournament and is going to take a double here. Just happened so quick. But I said it this morning, this course just keeps you on your toes. Really dynamic, really interesting from a player and fan perspective.
After all that chaos, back in the fairway, Canute with his 3rd shot to the green, looking for birdie.
Slight breeze from right to left. He makes the green with the jumper. He's 6 meters away for the bird. Beautiful execution from the Norwegian. Gannon Burr makes sure he knows the distance.
This is just a little chip. Yep.
Yeah.
Gannon moves to 8 down. Callaway going to sit atop the leaderboard at 9. Oh, lazy approach from Robinson. Maybe caught just a tiny bit of wind, but still work left on his putt as well.
If you're just following the PDGA Live scores, there is some miscalculation in the app as we go on to this green. So the scores will be updated after these putts. Now Isaac in the basket. That is not stellar from Isaac, but he's fine. There's still 2 more days to play. Ricky Wysocki. Very unexpected troubles on hole 18 for Ricky. And Holland gets the birdie. That is a great finish for his round. Gannon Burr taps in. And he will tie Benjamin Callaway. Yeah, excuse me, he will tie Jacob Blair, Raven Newsom and Evan Smith on the second place, going 4 on hole 17 and 4 on this hole 18. Gets the birdie, and we have a solo leader from Benjamin Callaway when we go on to the second day of Krokhol Open 2025. Yeah, double bogey for Ricky. That takes him down a couple of spots. He's currently 2 strokes off the lead, and he's anxious for some more disc golf tomorrow. We'll be right back with the after show. We have a lot to go through, and we'll be right back after this short break.
What's going on, guys? Hold My Bag just launched the greatest disc golf fantasy game in the universe.
Hold My Bag just dropped the best fantasy disc golf game the planet has ever seen.
I want to tell you guys about the newest disc golf fantasy game on the market.
One of my favorite parts is the Hold My Bag. This is something that we started doing, and it's actually a lot of fun.
Bend the reality of what a disc can be and discover Ultra Soft plastic. Ultra Soft has the best grip and flex of any plastic Prodigy has ever made. Check out the entire collection today on ProdigyDisc.com or your local retailer.
The discovery of electricity, the first flight, democracy, splitting the atom, computers, modern medicine, space travel, and of course, the Royal Line from Latitude 64.
Discover Estonia. Feel the thrill of Tallinn. The European Disc Golf Festival kicks off July 17th with the world's top players. Get your tickets now at svibi.com.
There. And then back, stop.
So what's the timing here?
In 3, 2...
Hey, Paul! Good to see you.
Hey!
We are outside.
We are together.
Oh my!
We are healthy.
We are inclusive.
Smile.
Smile.
You are playing disc golf.
PDGA Europe.
Smile.
Here we are. The round 1 is done with the MPO. We have those NXT bets. We have Hold My Bags. What would have the odds been for this kind of grouping of 4 in the lead card for round 2?
I don't know if they would have even thought to make that an NXT bet, Epe. But first off, huge shout out to Jacob Blair from California. First time on the Disc Golf Network is going to be on the lead card with the world number 1. And it's not just him that has a lot to be excited about. We have 2 guys, Raven Newsom and Ben Calloway, who long time people have known they're great players, and they have talent to do really good things out here on the tour, but they haven't proven it lately. This season's been rough for both of them. Raven Newsom currently the 82nd rated player or ranked player on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. Ben Calloway sitting at 40th with multiple chances to have won Disc Golf Pro Tour events. Jacob Blair, he's played some recent Pro Tour events. We've seen him recently play Preserve and a few other events, Northwest Disc Golf Championships, PCS. He's unranked, and he's on the lead card. That's something to key in on. Also, it's an Iowa weekend. There's a little rivalry amongst the Iowa pros. Gavin Babcock also on the chase card. Ben Calloway and Gannon have kind of been going back and forth for years now. Who's the best Iowa player? Yeah, they're in Norway, but there's something else to prove on the line.
Yeah, I mean, does this look like Iowa to you?
Not really.
Not really.
Not really.
But the Iowans, they're pissed. They want to have their fair share of this golf at Norway. We have a packed chase card too. Mm-hmm. We have Evan Smith, Richard Wysocki, Gavin Babcock, and Lauri Lehtinen, the only European of the bunch on the first 2 cards.
Well, I want to throw it back to you. Ricky Wysocki, 7 down. And frankly, anytime he was taking a bogey stroke, it wasn't like, oh, he barely missed. It seemed like he was having some real issues getting the disc to consistently come out of his hand. What did you make of his performance today?
I can't quite catch what was his initial problem today. There was something off, and when he was off, he was like you said, he was like severely
way
off, should I say. So it was great to see that he can pull his things back to streaks. 2 of those 4 birdie streaks going on, like consecutive birdies. But then the last hole 18 got him. There was something about the shot off the tee. He yanked that to the right too low and then missed his second shot too. Just a casual flip to the green with a forehand from a spot he has never practiced before.
Well, think about 17. That shot was one of the worst tee shots that he threw all day. That very easily could have resulted in a bogey as well. Who knows what could have happened if he would have stayed out of bounds there. That would have been bogey, double to finish.
Yeah.
Ricky should feel very fortunate that he is where he's at. I think having a rough day and still being 7 under par when you look at the rest of the leaderboard is something to be grateful for.
Yeah. And when I look at the chase card for tomorrow, we have at least 3 double bogeys or worse on that card, and we have many single bogeys. On the other hand, for the lead card, we only have 4 single bogeys combined. Benjamin Callaway playing bogey-free. So that's kind of the thing for me. If those chase card players and the others can clear those bogeys and single bogeys out, they're right there.
They are right there, but it's almost feeling when we look at the holes play the way that they're designed, it's inevitable that if you are even just the least bit off on executing what you set out to execute, you're going to take a bogey. That's how this course is designed, and that's why a lot of these holes had great scoring spread.
That is true. And, well, that's going to be it for the day number 1. We are going to continue with Juliana Korver for the FPO tomorrow morning, and then with you back on the MPO round 2, but there is still the OTB shot of the day that we have to pick.
Got it this morning. So
yeah,
let me take it again.
Yeah.
I'm going to go, my heart says Gannon's tee shot on 1. I'm thinking Ricky's throw-in on 3.
So which one you're going to take?
I'm going to take Ricky's throw-in on 3.
You're going to take that one?
I am.
Okay. Well, I'm going to take the other one then. Let's give me Gannon on hole number 1, and let's see what is the OTB shot of the day, Krokhol Open 2025 MPO round 1. Let's go. Bring it to us. Drum roll, please. Brian can't have 2 in a row. Oh yes! My gosh.
I don't think this has ever happened, folks.
Hey, Statmando guys, are you listening? Has there ever been a commentator who's peaked 2 consecutive OTBs?
It feels like everyone except for me has. This is what I thought was funny about this. Throws it in and slow rolls it. The rest of the card goes, okay, can you just get this disc out of the basket? I got to throw my 30-footer.
And it is marked as a par, so it must have been some kind of a second shot we missed.
We missed a pitch out.
Yeah. Here are the broadcast times for the Krokhol Open. It's going to be 10:30 a.m. local time in Norway. And that's 4:30 a.m. US Eastern. Then for the MPO, 4 p.m. local time, 10 a.m. US Eastern. Thank you for joining us on DGN and on YouTube for this day 1 of Krokhol Open 25, and see you tomorrow.